Welcome, everybody, to this special bonus episode of Daily Dose of Aramaic. Our past special bonus episodes have always been interactions, conversations with Aramaic scholars. Well, today we have something also special in a different way, and that is a review episode, our first review episode. If you're a subscriber to Daily Dose of Greek, you know that Robert Plummer has reviewed Timothy Lee's Greek readers. But if you go to his website, timothyale.com, you see that he also has Hebrew readers and Aramaic readers. So it's my pleasure to take a few moments to show you the Biblical Aramaic reader from Timothy Lee, as well as his reader of the book of Daniel and the books of Ezra, Nehemiah, which, as you know, because we've read through them in Daily Dose of Aramaic, these Bible books are rich with Aramaic content. So let's take a look at these special readers. Okay, let's take a look at these readers, starting with Biblical Aramaic, going to Ezra, Nehemiah, and then finally Daniel. So this Aramaic reader is not very thick, and it's very nicely designed. It looks really good on your shelf. And as we open it from what we might think of as the end, it's not the end because it's the beginning in reading right to left as one would expect a biblical Aramaic work to be arranged. So we come to the beginning, and Ezra 4:8 is the beginning of the Aramaic section of Ezra. So that's where the text begins. You might see that these words here are grayed out. They're not in the fully black font. That's because they are proper nouns. And the second word here has an A by it. It refers us down to what's immediately below the text, which are words that appear 10 times or fewer in biblical Aramaic. So nice reminder of the meaning of these words. You're sort of held responsible in a reader for more frequently used words. And then lastly, at the very bottom, we have a section that has the parsing of unusual verbal forms. So that's going to be helpful. Those are marked by numbers instead of the letters of these glosses. So that's Ezra, and we page over to Daniel, where Daniel's Aramaic starts partway through Daniel 2:4 with Malkah. So the Hebrew content, even of that verse, does not appear before it. And then we're going to go to the back after Daniel, and we see that Jeremiah 10:11, the one verse in Jeremiah that's in Aramaic, that appears, as well as the two words of Aramaic seen in Genesis. So that's the text. And then finally in the back we have paradigms. Very useful paradigms, including, take a look at this, the strong verbs of biblical Aramaic complete as a paradigm. That's really nice. So we see here, for instance, that there are no pa'il or hofal imperfects, as we know from biblical Aramaic for biblical interpreters. But filling out the paradigms is nice because not all these forms are actually attested in the biblical Aramaic corpus. So a very nice reader, as we said before. Next, let's look at the Ezra Nehemiah reader. Now, why would you want this if you already had the biblical Aramaic reader? Well, it's obvious. This includes all the content of these books, Hebrew and Aramaic. So moving to Ezra 4:8 to show the beginning of the Aramaic, there's a paragraph break right here that then helps us to know, okay, something new here is showing up. It's the Aramaic. And likewise, the graying out of the proper nouns. So similar arrangement to what we had seen before about glosses and then verb parsings at the bottom. And there's just going to be the Hebrew and the Aramaic of Ezra and Nehemiah. Now, how does this compare with other editions of the text? Well, in Daily Dose of Aramaic, of course, we use the BHQ as well as the BHS. So we open the BHQ to in the middle here of some Aramaic, and we see that, of course, this is going to be different. This is not a reader. We have the text critical information, we have Masoretic notes, no per se helps to the reader. So you're getting something different in a reader from a text. Now, this is going to be useful in its own way to have a copy of BHQ or BHS for the study of biblical Aramaic, but you're getting something different in an actual reader. For example, the Daniel reader. Okay, so what's going to be similar, what's going to be different? It's going to be very similar to what we had seen with the Ezra Nehemiah reader. And of course, unlike what we had seen in the biblical Aramaic reader, there's just the flow right here. The last word of Hebrew in Daniel 2:4 is the word for Aramaic. Aramaic, and then bam, you go right into the Aramaic. And so same arrangement down here, and you can see if you look here, actually these are Hebrew words that are shown for their unusual parsings, as well as Aramaic, because this is the transition page. This is what we expect, having seen the Ezra-Nehemiah reader, and even though it's a one book, Daniel, and it's a long book, it's not very big. So these readers are a nice, handy size. Finally, let's wrap up this quick look at Timothy Lee's readers with taking a look at a Reader's Hebrew Bible as a comparison. At first glance, it seems similar, where we're going to have the proper nouns also grayed out here in this text. But what's different between the Reader's Hebrew Bible and Timothy Lee's readers? Well, a big part is what we see at the bottom. This does not have those parsings the way the readers did. These are just glosses. So, as far as which of these editions of readers would be best for one studying Biblical Aramaic, that's your choice. But look at what different information you're getting between the full edition of the Reader's Hebrew Bible and Timothy Lee's readers.